All intel has gone quiet and it was still an unknown as to when monies would filter down to us in Tier 4B, the Internet Group. Restored Republic troops will be deployed in every country, and then comes shutting down of the Internet in 10 days of darkness. In that time the military will arrest all who colluded with the New World Order and creation of the deep state cabal will fall in those days and nights. The pain happens now. Must happen, and the sleeping sheep must experience the pain. Civilization will never be the same after the Great Fall. Inside the storm, the Great Awakening. The world is connected. Buckle up, buttercups, Q. Think crimes against humanity, foreign election interference globally, Chinese military companies, and Evergrande. Ladies and gentlemen, the storm is upon us. Whiplash 347. Here we go. It's all starting to make sense. Big Pharma has done the unthinkable crimes against humanity, an evil that has no bounds. Cue the storm rider. Red October, red markets, red infrastructure, red elections, red zone energy, red chaos, pain, 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 pain. Judy note: high alert, from Friday 1st of October through Monday 1st of November, and using Halloween costumes, decorations and celebrations as a cover-up, followers of Satan observed All Hallows Eve by kidnapping, torturing, murdering, and mind-controlling babies, children and teens. Please help save the children by turning the fear-packed mode of Halloween into a grateful season leading up to Thanksgiving, and report to proper authorities any and all satanic activities you may observe. A scare event: global foods, goods, gas crises, cat quotes 107, 1315. In the manufacturing lines they have rows and rows and rows of goods that are sitting there waiting for one tiny component. That is exactly what's happening in America right now. Our inventories are backing up, waiting for stuff that's backed up, sitting on boats on both coasts, at sea, waiting to unload cargo. Companies here that are trying to ship stuff around the world. The trailers aren't available, not enough drivers. If they do have drivers, they haven't got an empty container. If they do have an empty container, they can't get it to dock, and they don't have any room at the dock to put it to wait cause the boat hasn't unloaded yet, to be open to load other goods on. That is going to have a significant impact on the markets that isn't going to resolve itself quickly. The microchip shortage is more than you could fathom. Car companies, phone companies, computer, smart TVs, smart appliances, government weapon systems, and other productions were all coming to a standstill. Cargo ships across the world were halting. Millions of companies were canceling orders because of chip shortages. They could not finish production and had to cancel their next projects and cease production. Layoffs have begun. Mandates in other countries were losing workers, drivers, delivery. The cargo ships were backed up, warehouse storage full. Europe's energy crisis due to EU climate change actions. Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban has blamed EU action to combat climate change for the surge in energy prices. And stated Poland, Czechia and Hungary would present a united front at the next bloc summit. Orban told State Radio on Friday that bureaucrats in Brussels are countering climate change by continuously raising the price of energy from coal and gas, leading to a spike in household energy bills across Europe. The events leading up to the event on Friday, October 1, 2021 at 12:01 a.m. EDT, the U.S. Republic was restored to concepts of the original Constitution. Now, as part of the global currency reset, a bankrupt cabal no longer had control over U.S. taxpayer dollars. On Monday 4th of October around 10:40 a.m. EDT, preparation for the 10 days of darkness appeared to have began with a partial shutdown of Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, Gmail, Twitter, T-Mobile, Metro, Spectrum, Verizon, AT&T, Google, Cricket Wireless, Amazon, Apple, TikTok, Snapchat, Amazon, intermittent internet outages, and boom, YouTube crashed. The next phase would be permanent shutdown of Facebook and other social media, plus phone and internet outages. On Tuesday, 5th of October, Special Forces had placed a schedule on Telegram. First wave of blackouts has started, social media, second wave internet, phone, third wave MSM, 45 is insulated and safe. Over 100 KRS has taken place so far today, EBS imminent, maybe tomorrow, not confirmed yet. God bless us all. Pray. Were erased from time. Are there any coincidences? Thursday 7th of October, 10 to 7 or 17, trust account holders would have access to working capital. From Friday 8 to Saturday 16th of October, 10 days of darkness? Martial law was to be implemented in Canada, Australia and certain parts of the US such as in New York and Wyoming, with the rest of the world to soon follow according to an official Manitoba Canada Providence document. If so, on that same Friday 8th of October exchange/redemption appointments could begin for Tier 4B, us, the Internet Group. On Friday 15th of October the general public would begin exchanging at the new international rates. This could not happen unless the global currency reset had been announced. On that same Friday 15th of October implementation of the NISR law was expected to be announced, which included no more Federal Reserve, no more IRS. The US would function on a flat tax system levied on new items only, with none on food or medicine. On Sunday 17th of October, an announcement may be made about JFK Jr. according to Trump plus Q Great Awakening. World. That's 17 days into Red October. See the real news for Friday, October 8, 2021. Fox News Friday 8th of October, Mexican cartels were seen firing automatic weapons across the border and into the United States last night. Wow. Shadow government is being taken down, Whiplash 347, and we are down to one Supreme Court Justice, Clarence Thomas. 1 out of 9, the rest are corrupt. China's Shanxi province was hit by heavy rain and floods as the rainfall broke the record in early October in many places. The Yuncheng section of the Fen River in Shanxi province is facing the largest flood peak in nearly 40 years. As captured by drone footage on Thursday, Yuncheng has initiated a Level 3 emergency response for flood control, and people in Xinjiang County have been evacuated overnight. Hong Kong, Typhoon Lion Rock causes deathly floods to smash through Hong Kong. Hong Kong has been swept by torrential flooding that has inundated public transport, rising up to window height on cars and creating waves down streets. Typhoon number 17 Lion Rock, large, is currently near the South China Sea, and is slowly heading north. On Friday 8th of October users reported more problems with Instagram, Facebook, Facebook Messenger, and WhatsApp. D-Scare event, 10 Days of Darkness John Durham on Friday 8th of October, 1 week left. The countdown has started. Welcome to the endgame, Patriots. Boom. A week to remember. They are not prepared. Now buckle up and listen to what I have to say, Patriots. Blackout is necessary. The hour is upon us. Largest eclipse yet. Main event on its way. Boom so loud IT will blow their masks off. According to an official Manitoba Providence document, martial law was to be implemented in Canada, Australia, and certain parts of the US such as in New York and Wyoming from Friday 8 to Saturday 16th of October. 10 days of darkness? With the rest of the world to soon follow. E-Scare event, International Child Sex Trafficking Crisis. The media isn't silent on child sex trafficking because of the children, it's because of who the customers are. Read that again, please. Mel Gibson, I was introduced to the dark practices of Hollywood in early 2000s and was threatened with serious repercussions should I ever speak out. And I don't just mean my career, I mean my life was threatened, my family's life would be in danger. I can only talk about it now as those people, those industry executives, they're all dead now. This isn't anything new and has been taking place since before Hollywood was even founded. If you research this phenomenon, you will find lurking in the shadows of every dark era in history. These dark, multidimensional occult practices have been used in secret societies for hundreds of years. Hollywood is being used for social programming and mind control, and their message is being projected into the psyche of the American people. People everywhere. F-Scare event, global financial crises, Q, the Storm Rider, China is buying up everything they could before the collapse. China is gearing up for war. Biden weakened the American people through divide and conquer. Weakened the military through mandates that stopped certain special forces from doing their jobs because of taking sickness. We were coming to 0 hour. Third quarter reports for the US economy were coming out. The mass corruption of the fake market reporting and false market apps was being exposed. This quarter's report is very important. It will show China pulling their money and collapsing US money. Eventually countries were heading to war, was the first attack. The US military is patiently waiting and dropping leaks. The perfect time to strike was when all military and major countries started to install martial law. This has always been the plan, to arrest the deep state in all countries. Black is necessary. The collapse of the internet, Control deep state internet, must happen to create a golden era. Russian was slowly turning off gas. In the end the Chinese military would pull a military coup on the Chinese Communist Party. We were heading to a critical moment. 0 hour. Shipping across the world was silently backing up and chaos would begin. Evergrande woe spread to China's $12 trillion local market. October 8, after months of resilience in the face of concern over China Evergrande Group, the country's $12 trillion domestic credit market has begun to show signs of strain. Whiplash 347, Internet collapses. BTC goes to zero. Remember they told you only way BTC goes to zero is Internet being cut off, even though the main data center is under 3GD. How would they FRY that? See that volcano being hit with too. Same as Nashville AT&T NSA hit on CIA Snow White computer. Rods of God are for tunnels which are below the dam. Bloomberg, China Evergrande's offshore bond default imminent bondholders advisor says. G-Scare event, 2020 election Sidney Powell reveals evidence to suggest we have had rigged elections in America for over 20 years. Big Michigan rally coming up on October 12, on the Capitol steps in Lansing, where patriots will demand a forensic audit of the 2020 presidential election scam. The voter fraud is beyond what anyone can believe. Anyone who cares about our great country should attend because unless we look to the past and fix what happened, we won't have a future or a country. Matt DePerno, Representative Steve Carra, and Christina Caremo, who I have endorsed, will be there. Let's go Michigan, don't let us down. Arizona, the person who leaked Cyber Ninja's deceptive draft report the night before the Arizona audit hearing was Joe Oltmann. He betrayed the trust of 1,500 auditors and sabotaged the 100,000 hours of work they put in, apparently because he doesn't like Republicans. H-Scare event, wars and rumors of war as a declaration of war against the U.S., breaking Chinese state media Global Times, we must resolutely define the U.S. troops' deployment in Taiwan as an invasion. The mainland has the right to carry out military strikes against them at any time. The U.S. is playing a dangerous game that is destined to draw fire. Just in, China, U.S. forces must withdraw from Taiwan I-Scare event, CV-19 deadly mandates, high-frequency false positive CV-19 tests and vax mass deaths cover-up. Breaking news. Spanish High Court confirms does not exist. With Charlie Ward Iceland, Moderna shot halted for all ages in Iceland. After 3 Nordic nations halted the Moderna for younger people, Iceland's health ministry announced Friday it will stop administering the shot to everyone. Pfizer whistleblower confirms aborted fetal cell lines in mRNA. Elum is recalling almost 200,000 rapid home tests for the 19 antigen due to concerns about the abnormally high frequency of false positive results observed in some batches of tests. J-Scare event, the corrupt FBI, CIA, mainstream media. The FBI should investigate who planted bombs at the Capitol on January 5. For some reason, they aren't even trying to find out who it was. Once you learn that the CIA controls mainstream media, everything else starts to make sense. The FBI does not stop crime. They create it and frame others for it. K-Scare event, tsunami could hit US, Europe. Canary Island catastrophic volcano eruption. Tsunami warning, Tenerife tsunami warning, catastrophic volcano eruption could devastate Canary Islands. Scientists have warned that a volcanic eruption in Tenerife could trigger a tsunami that could cause catastrophic effects. Trump-led global special forces preparing Australia for martial law? Whiplash 347, over the last 2 weeks Australia has been loaded up with foreign special forces, US, Russian Spetsnaz, German GSG-9 etc. Monday 9/4 of October many foreign warships etc. pulled into Fleet Base West under cover of darkness, all lights off. For the last 3 days mainstream news has revealed that Trump was running a shadow government, emulating Abraham Lincoln. But we all knew this. Chapter 11, right? Remember Trump PO 13818. He has seized New York Stock Exchange. Pfizer is listed on the NYSE, as is Australia. So they have been seized. Remember they do 33, we do 34. Always one better. Australian naval base seized, Whiplash 347, foreign special forces being dropped off in Australia for scare event. When the lights go out no white hats are in control. Pfizer and UN Lima Agreement. In 1975 Gough Whitlam signed the Lima Agreement. He sold Australia to the United Nations, But wait, Australia and Pfizer are listed on the NYSE. Donald J. Trump's Executive Order 13,818 has seized the NYSE. Therefore by default he is the owner of Australia. Chapter 11, City of London, Vatican and Washington D.C. are bankrupted, filed and actioned. The Act of England 1871 has been reversed. The Secondary Judiciary Act 1869 is no longer. This also overturns the Balfour Declaration of 1917. Now we wait Justice Thomas to open a can of Wu Pass, 1776, style. The whole world goes to 1776 in law, to a level playing field. Think revaluation of all currencies. The whole world goes to 1950s prices. 1955, the chosen year post-crash. The three most important executive orders of our lifetimes, 13,818, 13,848, 13,959. Think crimes against humanity, foreign election interference globally, think Chinese military companies, think Evergrande. Ladies and gentlemen, the storm is upon us. Australia scare event, Fulford report, the fake Biden regime in the US defaulted on September 30th. And has been given until October 18th before the plug is finally pulled on that evil regime, Asian secret society sources promise. The funding was cut off because the Rockefeller/Rothschild etc. crime families behind the Biden regime failed to meet their promise to hand Australia over to the communist Chinese, the sources say. That is the real reason why the bad relations between China and Australia took an unbelievable turn this week when China fired a Long March 3B nuclear-capable missile, directly over Sydney, Australia. The change in Australia is reflected by the fact Premier of Gladys Berejiklian resigned as New South Wales Premier after an investigation found she and others in the government were receiving millions of dollars from Pfizer to push draconian vax laws, according to Australian intelligence sources. The fact it refused to hand itself over to Communist China is also why the EU has entered the fray by cutting off trade talks with Australia, the sources say. In any case, the cutoff of Asian funding is what prompted the fake Biden to say we're gonna get this done, it doesn't matter when. It doesn't matter whether it's 6 minutes, 6 days or 6 weeks. We're gonna get it done. By openly flouting the satanic 666 number, the criminals using rubber mask Biden as a front have fully come out of the closet. Since these criminals have carried out horrendous acts of mass murder every time they faced default in the past, you can be sure this statement by Biden was meant to be taken as a threat. This time, with little doubt, they plan to surpass 9/11, Fukushima and the fake of 2020. The obvious candidate this time is La Palma. The volcano there is erupting with increasing intensity and is doing so in a manner that is increasing the chances of a massive tsunami hitting the east coast of the US etc. Scare event, US President Joe Biden crisis, the real number of the US citizens rising against the government and Joe Biden regime has reached 80%. CNN fake 48% Biden approval rating is beyond half 20%. These 80% numbers are not only Trump supporters. Biden voters have turned. There were 40 million unregistered voters who were becoming aware of a false narration through Fauci, the economy, the false and other source matters related to distrust. Biden, the world is laughing at us. China is laughing at us. Our enemies are laughing at us. America is now a declining country in just the short time Biden has been in office. Instead of rambling, why doesn't this pathetic administration fix the shipping crisis? The ports on the east and west coast are backed up, causing massive supply line shortages. The media and this administration have been silent on this. The Patriot Enzyme redemption and/or currency exchange appointment, the following was in my opinion only and could easily change by your appointment time. Official instructions would come with publication of the secured website. In order to redeem bonds and/or exchange foreign currencies at the higher rates, you must go to a redemption center within the days allotted for such exchanges/redemptions. If you go to a bank, they would give you the lower rates as shown on the Forex for that day. Notification to set appointments at redemption centers would come out by way of letters to your email account. Those emails would contain a link to a secured website. That secured website link would also be published on various dinar websites as well as be in a restored republic via GCR update. To access an appointment at a redemption center, go into the secured website where it would ask you to verify that you are you. After which you would be given an individual 800 number to call to set your redemption/exchange appointment. While you could send the secured website link to anyone you wished, your individualized 800 number could only be used by you and only once to set your appointment. Currency rates. No one has knowledge of the currency exchange rates for Tier 4B as they would be set just prior to notification. ZIM rate. We don't know what the ZIM rate was. The UST listed the ZIM at a 1-to-1 for countries other than the US. The US requires a project for the ZIM redemption at the higher rates. If you had ZIM and don't have a project, you could take a default rate. No one knows what the default rate would be. If you had a project, the rate for your ZIM would be on a sliding scale of from below 1 cent to $1 depending on the needs of your project presentation and how many years you wished for your payout. 80% of that payout would go to your project and 20% would be for yourself. You would also earn interest on money left at the bank during your payout period, which could be substantial. If you don't have projects, and you don't have ZIM, you could ask for contract rates on your currency. Except for seniors over 65, all ZIM redemption would be on a payout in the number of years of your choice up to 50 years. You would be paid interest on your money left at the bank during your payout period for as much as 7% to 8% a year depending on how many years you decided for your payout. The dinar and dong exchange could be used for your project. You could invest in the international projects and would benefit from that commitment. If you elected to go with international projects, your team would take it and run with it and you would be hands-off. A trust account owns the projects. Your exchange/redemption team would be available to help you manage your project. There may be oversight during the first couple of years to determine that you're actually delivering on your commitment to humanitarian work, infrastructure and philanthropy. The trust still owns everything. Presenting a project. Have around 3 typewritten pages with details of your projects, describing your intentions, your ability to perform and the amounts you would allocate to it. Your currency exchange was a non-taxable event. The ZIM redemption might have an estate, capital gains and/or earned interest tax. It was advised with the ZIM that you set aside an amount to cover possible taxes. The USD was going to charge a fee to exchange and to redeem. We don't know exactly what that would be until we get to the delivery. A bank fee of $0.025 was possibly negotiable.